Right. Hopefully you can hear me. I've got the microphone over here, just in case. Let me know if there are any sound issues. Won't you, please? Look at me. I've barely started now. I'm giving you instructions. Barely started now. I'm telling you to do this, telling you to do that, telling you to do the other. Oh, honestly. Oh. Right. Assuming that you can all hear me. Somebody just tell me that you can hear me, okay? Please. Oh, really? Oh, bugger. Oh, I don't know. Go further away. Is that any better? Testing, testing. Oh, right. Neil said that's worse. Oh, well, let's do a microphone swap just in case. What I'm going to have to do, as I said on Friday night, these are like right, okay. I don't know what to do, guys. I don't know what to do. I'll turn this. That helped a bit last night. Okay, right. Shall we go with that? Shall we go with that? Just check. Okay, right. Well, let's start again then. Assuming that assuming that you can all hear me loud and clear, that's brilliant. So, good evening, darlings, and a very wibbly wobbly, warm, willy waving welcome to all of you. You see before you a very happy. Thank you. Thank you very much. You see before you a very happy Boaty indeed. And I hope you've all had the most splendid Sunday. And I really hope that you're going to tell me all about it. So don't hold back, darlings. I want to know everything. I want to know what time you got up. I want to know what you had for breakfast. I want to know what you had for Sunday lunch, how you spent your day, how you spent your evening. And I'd like to know generally how you're doing, how are you feeling, how's life treating you. And if you're consumptioning, yeah, that's not a word, but what the hell? If you're consumptioning an alcoholic beverage, then let me know about that as well. And on that subject, cheers, your very good health. And, God, I really am. Hello?
Good evening. Seems to be working.
Oh, sorry, I forgot to put you on speaker. Hello.
Good evening, sir. Seems to be working now.
Excellent. Good evening, Mr. Stephen Paddy. How the devil are you? How has your day been?
It started good and then went bad, downhill.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Nothing too
went to my nephew's party, came out, got me petrol, came back home, and we can't been at my nephew's party.
Oh, are you kidding? Is it bad?
They're pretty bad.
Oh, shit.
And so I'm going to have to go for my insurance and just don't write it off.
So they didn't leave a note or anything?
No. What annoyed me, I asked the neighbours whether they're on camera and no one caught it. Even my dash cam didn't, because it's one of them. It switches off and the engine switches off.
Oh, bugger. And nobody had, some of them turn on when there's an impact, don't they?
Yeah.
Nobody had any doorbell footage or anything?
No.
Oh, what a bastard. So you're going to have to make a claim on your own insurance and pay the excess.
And it annoys you. It goes up every year, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I've protected no claims, but it goes up every year.
Oh, I'm really sorry. That's a stinker.
I wouldn't mind if someone did it and left the details. I don't care if someone's been drinking or what. If they leave the details and it gets what's named, I wouldn't have cared. Yeah,
but they're probably not insured, are they? That's the truth of it.
Nah. Anyway, enjoy your live stream.
Oh, thank you. I'm really sorry to hear your news.
No problem. You are a wanker though, sir.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, take care. Have a good evening.
You too. The lovely Mr. Stephen Paddy from oh, who's this now? Oh, right. John's just letting me know that he is indeed watching the live stream. No, where was I? Yes. Right. So I'm happy. You can probably guess why. I've just had a very nice winegasm. And yeah, I just wait to hear about all of your days and how you've enjoyed it. So let's pile straight into the comments, shall we? First cab off the rank, as so often, is Jimmy Mighty Quinn, who says, "Good evening, Boaty and all." Matron, narrowly beaten by a head, pokes her head around the door and says, "Oh, am I first?" No. Evening all and Boaty. Peter P is here. Good evening, Boaty and all the pretzel munchers. Dave Smith, the theme to Midnight Cowboy seems to resonate as Boaty drives home and enters his kitchen. Midnight Cowboy, blimey. The lovely Neil is here. Hello, one and all. How are we tonight? Had a good day off today with Sophie. We've had a relax and ready for me to go back out for 2 days and then off for another 3. Hope we're all well. I hope so too, Neil. Hope you two are. Bed for me, says Dave. Thought I'd stop in and like the video, then bugger off. Well, that's very kind of you. I mean, it's kind of you to pop in and like it. I don't mean it's kind of you to bugger off. Steve Colg is here. The M11 is here. Evening, people. Hope Sunday's treated you all well. And hey, Boaty, hope you enjoyed your night off from live streaming and are ready to get back at it good and hard. I really missed it, actually. I really missed it. I thought, oh, yeah, that'd be nice. Bit of a party. I can relax. I can do this. I can do that. I can do the other. And I just kind of missed it. And I didn't do anything very much more productive, or I didn't do anything any earlier. So there we are. Andrew Buttigieg is here. I was Spotty Butty. A very good evening, Boaty, Jimmy, Trace, Peter P, Dave, Neil, and Sophie, Steve, and the lovely Emma Lumps. Oh, and my pretzel. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Stratosphere is with us and says evening up. Oh, and Stratosphere says to the M11, I liked your video upload today. Sensible to theme the episode based on that particular magazine. I've watched the beginning of the video. I've watched about a quarter of it and then I ran out of time. Steve Colg says, oh, he's got news. I had to take my subwoofer out of my Rover 25. Now, a subwoofer is, I think it's a piece of gramophone equipment. I think it's, I don't know what it is really. Haven't got a clue. Something to do with gramophones. I'm pretty sure about that. Anyway, he had to take out of his Rover 25. The back wheels were wobbling. And talking of wobbling, hello, Emma. The M11 is grateful to Strat for his comments on her video, and she says that she thought she would try something different, and she did, and she immediately lost 3 subscribers, 2 of whom actually left a comment saying, "I didn't sign up for this, I'm off, goodbye." There you are. Who's going to wash your toilet now you've lost 3 subs, Emma? Asked Dave Smith. I've had a productive weekend, says Matron. I have edited no less than 6 vids, although obviously what she should have said, if she were going to be grammatically correct, would be, I have edited no fewer than 6 vids. But we're secondary winegasm. It's going out to my shoulders. It's caressing my breasts. Oh, that's a nice one. Oh, God, honestly, that's a nice one. That's like Brian Blessed creeping up behind you and cupping you gently with his big, hairy hands. Fabulous. Where was I? Oh, yeah, Matron was being grammatically incorrect. Matron, I tell you what, from now on, I will translate Matron's comments into ones what I wrote proper, like what I would wrote them. I've had a productive weekend, says Matron again. I know she only said it a couple of seconds ago, but she said it again. She really wants you to know. She might go for a 3rd time. Get ready. I bet you she does. Anyway, I've had a productive weekend, says Matron, for the 3rd time. I warned you. I told you that would happen. That's the thing about naked matrons. They do like to get their point across, or both of their points if if they're approaching you with uninhibited booby firkins. But let's not talk about matrons booby firkins, shall we not? The point is that matrons had a productive weekend, and I, for one, am glad about that. And in fact, I'm unanimous in that. Shall we find out why and how matrons had a productive weekend? Let's. Right, she has edited no fewer than 6, and that's in capital letters, so she really means it. 6 videos, and they're all currently queued up and ready to auto-release over the forthcoming 3 weeks. And 3 is the number 3 rather than writing THREE, which it should be, really. For those who aren't aware, then for correct written English, if it's a number, a single-digit number, one is expected to write it in using letters. If it's a double-digit number, then it is acceptable to use numericals. And you're welcome for that piece of information. So, for example, if you were writing to your children's school teacher or headmaster, then you might find that information very useful because it could save you from significant potential embarrassment. You might even get a detention or a few strokes of the cane for your trouble. Oh, I miss those days. I miss those days when ne'er-do-wells and misbehaviours were simply beaten with sticks. It was a better world. Colours were brighter. Opal fruits weren't called star blanks. And you had spangles. Who remembers spangles? There's a whole generation, or maybe 2, who know nothing about spangles. And then when you try and make a joke about giving a lady oral sex and she hasn't taken the tights off, and you say it's like trying to suck a spangle with a wrapper on, they don't know what you're talking about. And the joke falls flat. And you don't get invited back to that working men's club to do another act the next Saturday. And that means that you're going to be a little bit skint. And you can't have your Sunday treat. You can't have your nice roast beef lunch. You might have to have 2 pies instead, 2 Asda smart pies for your Sunday lunch. There are worse things. Now, my Sunday lunch today, darlings, and I'm glad you asked about it. I roasted a chicken. I haven't done that for ages. I thought I am particularly poor at the moment. So I will buy a very cheap chicken, and it was a very cheap chicken. It was £2.46 of the King's new pence. And I thought, well, I'll get 4 meals out of that, won't I? what really good value for money. And I had forgotten how good certain things taste when they're cooked in the tray with a roasted chicken. Now, for months and months and years, I've been using chicken from work for my Sunday lunch, haven't I? You've seen it. You've all seen it a million times. But roasting the chicken in the tray with the wonderful chicken juices, my goodness gracious me, it takes your stuffing to a different level. I'm talking different level Premier League stuffing, darlings. And if there's one thing I know about my lovely community, you wonderful bugs, I know that many of you ache for a really good stuffing, don't you? That's what you want on a Sunday more than anything else. You want a really good, first class Premier League stuffing. And quite frankly, that's what I had today, darlings. It was sublime, as were the roast potatoes. Roast potatoes, darlings, they were absolutely splendid. And I was reminded of the one thing that I've never, ever, ever been able to learn to do. Never, ever. I completely forgot that I couldn't do it, but I soon remembered, darlings. And you might be wondering what it is I'm talking about. And don't worry, I'm about to tell you. I have learned how to do some things in the kitchen, both my amateur kitchen at home and a professional kitchen. 3, 2, 1. I apologize if you heard that. I tried to quell it. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to cover it up. That was a wine burp. And I'm not proud, but neither am I ashamed. So, yeah, I've learned to do things in a kitchen. But give me a joint of roast beef. My God, can I carve a joint of roast beef? I'd be there at the head of the table, sharpening the old knife and because I'm old-fashioned in a lot of ways, right? Now, there are certain things that I'm not willing to give up and I'm not willing to compromise on. So whenever I hold a dinner party, which, let's be honest, is like never now, but when I was married and I had Mrs. Boaty and the Boatyettes, the little Boaties, the Boaty miners, we used to have dinner parties very regularly. At least once a week, sometimes more. And one thing that I would never compromise on was, I am the paterfamilias. I am the head of this family. I sit at the head of the table. And that caused an argument on more than one occasion. But as far as I was concerned, this is my dinner table, well, our dinner table, but as the man, as the alpha male, my table, I sit at the head, and I also insisted that Mrs. Boaty sat at the other end of the table, and I would never be dissuaded on that. I insisted on it. She would, because Mrs. Boaty was a typical Irish woman in that she would put the comfort of others before herself. So she'd give everybody else the biggest portion and eat whatever was left. And she would say, "Oh, no, I can sit here, I can sit that." No. Every single dinner party, and we had a massive table, darlings. We had a very nice dining room, a massive table, like a 14-person table. And it was always thus. I was at the head, Mrs. Boaty was at the other end. There was never any deviation from that. I wouldn't stand for it. But the other thing was, I did the carving. I cook roast beef. I carve the roast beef at the table. I serve it, and I do it very well indeed. Oh yes, darlings, very well indeed. However, and this is coming to the point of today, give me a chicken or a turkey, complete waste of time. I can't do it. I cannot carve a chicken, darlings. I cannot do it. So that I did have to compromise on. and Mrs. Boaty would take over carving duties when we had chicken or turkey or duck or whatever, and I would have to gladly relinquish them. And then I must say, Boo, the lovely Boo, who I miss very much, Boo took it a step further, because Boo was a professional caterer, and Boo had one of those very flash electric carving thingies. So she used to carve a chicken beautifully. I can't bloody do it. I got my chicken today. I cooked it perfectly, beautifully, as you would imagine. It was perfectly cooked, beautifully seasoned, wonderfully moist, if you'll forgive the word. I went to carve it. I ended up just hoiking bits out of it, and I didn't even put the picture on Facebook. I've got a picture of my lunch, and it's just bits of chicken hacked out. I can't do it. I just cannot do it. Oh dear. But why am I talking about that? I've got no idea why I'm talking about that. No, not a clue. Anyway, Matron's feeling pleased with herself now that she's back up to speed with life. That's good. Diddly-do. Tracy managed to get her finger out of a pretzel and do some work for a change, says the M11. And videos coming from Matron, community YouTube channel. You are duty bound to support it. 2 short Cornwall drives coming, and 4 woodies. Yeah, I thoroughly recommend Matron's driving videos. Absolutely fantastic. Matron offers you the opportunity to have a real life ride along with her. And if you watch one of her videos, and I would massively recommend that you do, Matron will go on a very long drive, 3-4 hours, something like that, and not on her own, with her, other half. Some might say better half, some might not. I don't know. And it's not for me to judge, although I always do judge silently. And it'll be a 4-hour drive, not a word spoken, total silence. And it's amazing. It's probably AMGRS or whatever it is, that, you can have 4 hours of absolute total bleeding silence, where 2 grown adults go on holiday, which is supposed to be a fun thing, and completely ignore it. Basically, Matron's YouTube channel appears to be a husband and wife who just refuse to talk to each other. I mean, I'm sure they do talk to each other, but they're not prepared to do it on video. And that's quite refreshing and welcome, because there are so many, and I am guilty of this, right? There are so many husband and wife or partnership teams where all they bloody do is talk. Hubnut and Miss Hubnut, yap. I'm guilty of it. Me and Mustard, yap. Me and the M11, yappity. Matron, total, absolute silence. Not even the radio is on. There is nothing to distract you from the sheer pleasure of looking at a bit of Matron's dashboard, missus, and the road ahead. And it's absolutely fabulous. And I commend my answer to the house. Absolutely splendid. Now, I hope that and you might think that I'm being sarcastic. I'm not. Matron's videos are tremendously successful. They get a lot more views than mine. I can tell you that. Oh yeah, a lot more, quite a lot more, a lot more, many. They eclipse mine in terms of popularity. And she's clearly hit on a niche. So I think that Matron should extend her YouTube channel empire to do other things in complete silence. Over to you. Come up with your ideas. What could Matron film in complete silence with not a word spoken? Could do a podcast, a sound-only podcast, because that would be dead easy. Dead easy to do. She wouldn't even need to turn up for it. She could just put up a 3-hour podcast where not a word was spoken, and you wouldn't even need to film it. You could just put up in the edit suite, you could just put a black picture, a black background, extend it to 3 hours, put 0 audio on it, upload it to YouTube, and call it Matron's 3-hour fun podcast of total silence, or something like that. Or Matron could just film her everyday life, pottering around her mansion, I don't know, going dogging, helping out at the local care home, all of those sort of things. But she could separate the audio stream and delete it, so it was just total. I might try it. It works for Matron, and there is a precedent. I know that the most popular live streams I've ever done were the ones where I set the camera up and went to work. I wasn't there. You loved those. So I think Matron's onto something. Yeah. It's worth thinking about, isn't it? Last night's live was a riot, says Ivor Spotty Botty. And that, of course, was, there were 2 lives last night. There was Matron on her own, which she did on Twitching, which she did on that thing, that none of us really understand. And then back on good old YouTube, Matron and the M11, who in real life are genuinely sister and brother, or sister and sister, actually. Yeah, they're 2 sisters, really, if you're going to get technical about it. And they did a joint live on YouTube that went on for far too long, that went on wonderfully late into the night, and which I certainly enjoyed very much. Oh, Tricia is here. Good evening, Jason and all. Hope you've had a good weekend. Thank you, Tricia. I hope you have too. Bad Books is here. Good evening, all. Evola's Sunglasses is here. Evening, everyone. Oh, now we're getting into the problems with the sound. Batman Rubin spent the day installing some stealth number plate covers on his car. Oh, jolly good. Oh, food news. Food news with Boaty. Matron says, food, egg and avocado for lunch, and pork with apple, sage, and courgette for dinner. Oh, jolly good. Lunch, says Peter P, was a microwave pizza known as a mud flap in Finland. Oh, Mark on Motoring is here. What a treat, the lovely Mark. Good evening, everyone. Been a busy few weeks, but always nice to check back in with you lot. And I can tell you that Mark on Motoring, due to popular demand, and let me remind you, the lovely Mark of Mark on Motoring, it's a community channel. So, you have a moral obligation, if that's not too strong a word, to visit his channel and subscribe and watch his videos and press the like button. He deserves that because Mark puts a lot of effort into his videos and they're wonderfully, refreshingly professional. Oh, a million miles better than mine. But you now have another option with Mark. You could, if you so wished, become, and I'm going to make no bones about this, I'm just going to say it like it is. You could become one of Mark's channel members. The only thing standing in your way is a couple of pence donated in his direction on a monthly basis. And you would get no end of perks. There is no end to the perks that Mark is offering to his channel members. I'm not going to go into details. Check out his channel and you'll see. But some of the perks, they do involve him taking his clothes off. And let me remind you, I've been in a caravan with that man. He's not known as Mr. Tickle for nothing. And that's all I'm going to say on that matter. Hello, Mark. Lovely to have you here with us. John is here. John Stoodley. Hey, chat. Hey, Boaty. Hey, Andrew. Captain Mustard is here and says, hello, everyone. Mustard is editing at the moment, and he has been for a few hours. Ah, well. You edit your videos, Mustard, says Dave Smith. Well, I'm glad he's editing a video. We might manage to get one out. Mustard videos have been in sparse supply of late. I remember the halcyon days when we used to get one every day. Not now, not now, not now. He'll trickle one out when he feels like it. And, you know, we just have to be grateful. I think Mustard is basically, I think his tactic now is to play hard to get, to tease you with some videos now and then, and always leave you wanting more, which is the exact opposite of what I do. I just deluge you with videos and live streams until you all wish that I would just bugger off. You should edit your nose hair before your videos, Mustard, says Dave Smith. I do wonder, says the M11, if people subbed because they liked the videos with Boaty in, and then they realised he wasn't in any further videos and left. Probably. I mean, you know, I am an international jet-setting, windswept and interesting kind of sex symbol. You know, getting me on your channel is like winning first prize in the YouTube lottery. Oh, yeah. That's obviously a joke. What normally happens, what's probably actually happened, Emma, is that people have subbed for one of your videos and then they've watched the ones with me in and they've unsubscribed. That's what happens with Mustard. Every time I'm in one of his videos, people unsubscribe. And interestingly enough, it's the same in reverse now. When he appears in one of my videos, people unsubscribe. So anyway. Neil had two 12-inch subs in the back of his Saxo when he was a youngling. And for those who aren't familiar with the terminology, a sub means a kind of elongated roll from a place called Subway, which isn't what you think. It's not what we think of as a Subway. They sell like weird sandwiches, things, really long ones. So Neil had two really long sandwiches. I'll try and translate it so that people of my generation can understand. Neil says, I had two foot-long sandwiches in the back of my Saxo when I was a youngling and managed to shatter the... Gosh. Good evening, caller.
You knew exactly what I was on about, yourself, prick.
What? Do you mind? Do you mind? You're interrupting me while I'm reading out your comment.
Exactly.
Right, well...
But you're saying I've got two sandwiches in the back of a Saxo. You know the boot of a Saxo is not big enough for two of them.
Well, you're the one who said it. I'm just reading out what you wrote. Don't blame me. And there's no detail on there. What was on them? I bet it was like salami and some weird stuff, wasn't it?
No, it was two Pioneer Championship Series subwoofers with a 2000 watt amplifier. So, fuck off, tosspot. Good day.
And did you get fries with that?
Oh, bugger off.
Anyway, the point is that Neil managed to shatter. I'm getting all French on your bottoms, darlings. Neil managed to shatter the back window when he accelerated a bit too sharply and one of the sandwiches shot backwards, shot off the parcel shelf and actually broke the window. which I don't think that it should have done, quite honestly, because if you think about it, bread should be like soft and spongy. So either Subway sells stale bread or not fresh bread, in which case I would recommend you avoid them, or Neil simply left them in the boot of his saxophone for too long, and ultimately he paid the price for that. And, you know, let's cut him some slack. He said he was a youngster at the time, and we were all a bit messy when we were youngsters, weren't we? I mean, I wasn't, but I mean, you lot probably were. I mean, God knows you're slobs now. Dread to think what you were like when you were teenagers. Dear God. And you probably had like plates and stuff underneath your bed that had mold growing on them, and laundry stacked up in the corner of your room that hadn't seen the light of day for weeks and years. And Neil was no exception. He had 2-foot-long sandwiches from an American company that he'd left in the boot of his car for too long, but he paid the price. He got his back window broken, and that taught him a lesson. And as a result, Neil is a lot tidier now. Oh yeah, I can tell you. Although still not tidy enough for Sophie's taste. But there you are. Neil is a lovely work in progress. I've got really high hopes for him, to be honest. Now, I've got to know Neil very well. Neil has stayed here in my home. We've shared hotels together. We've shared a hotel bed together for a short but memorable period. And Neil is absolutely lovely. He's got a heart as big as a normal human heart. Sorry, I just found that funny. Now, he's got his little foibles because he's only a youngster, like I say, and all young people are a work in progress. And a lot of young people, all they really need is a firm and guiding hand, like on the chin. But yeah, Neil, absolutely cracking. He's got an amazing work ethic. Some things need some work. He never knows where he is, which is a little bit worrying when you think that he's an AA, not just an AA patrolman, but also now a crew trainer. Oh yeah, he trains people in crew. I don't know why they have to go to crew. He never told me that. But apparently, if you want to work with the AA, you have to go to crew. And Neil is oh well, maybe you don't. Maybe Neil just trains the people in crew. Maybe there are other. Maybe there's a derby trainer, and you could go there and be trained. But if you go to crew, you're going to be trained by Neil, quite honestly. And he knows a lot about a lot of things. Well, he knows a lot about cars. He just never knows where he is. And that can be somewhat disconcerting, as we found out the other night when Neil informed us all that he was in Llangollen, which has one of the longest piers in Wales, which came as a surprise to us because Llangollen is, of course, about 67 miles inland. So, you know, a pier was quite an unlikely thing. But there you go. And yeah, it's, you know, that kind of thing comes with experience. For example, I know that Neil lives in Dudley, or if you live there, Dudley. But he hasn't got a clue. He thinks he lives in Winchester. Don't know why, but it's endearing. It's endearing. That's what I think. Bless him. It's like, he's like the other end of the scale from your dotty old grandmother who's suffering a bit with the old timers disease. And, you know, he's lovely. He's in a world of his own. He hasn't got a clue where he is, but, you know, he's just a happy chap. And I think a lot of us would be happier if we were a little bit more carefree, like Neil, like thinking, you know, I haven't got a clue where I am, but I really, really like it here. oh, I've just soiled myself, but I didn't have to waste time looking for a lavatory. And that kind of thing is very freeing, I find. And, you know, hopefully he doesn't have to do his own laundry. I was informed by one of my American viewers that Donald Trump wears a diaper, which is American for a nappy. And I found that absolutely fascinating. I rather like that idea. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yeah, we talked about Neil Sandwich breaking his window. Bad Books was up at 7 a.m. Gosh, that's early. And washed a car for the MX5 club run to Sheringham Transport Weekend. Gosh. He had a picnic in the park. He had a massive thunderstorm driving home. The MX5 got dirty again. Roast chicken Sunday roast for tea, and then walked the dogs. What a splendid Sunday. What a splendid Sunday. Mr. Stephen Parry from Port Sunlight in the Wirral, the Leisure Peninsula. Oh, happy Jesus Christ. Dear God. Can't remember what it was I was supposed to do. The Greenwood sisters were funny last night on Emma's Live. Thank you, ladies. Oh, well, that's very kind of you. Mr. Stephen Paddy is thanking me for my loyalty of service in doing nightly live streams. Oh, you're more than well. I do it for me. I don't give a monkeys about you lot. I do it for me. Not true. I do. And when I say a monkeys, then I don't mean a gibbon, because then Neil would hate me. You know Neil. You know how he feels about gibbons. Oh, yeah. Exactly, Peter P. M11, you usually lose subs when Boaty appears. Just ask Mustard. Absolutely. Matrons like to get both of their points across when a Jimmy Quinn video calls her. Yeah. Now, this came up on the live stream. Apparently, and I've only heard this third hand, so forgive me if I don't get it entirely correct. Right. Now, if you're a regular to this community time, you will know that Matron likes to be naked whenever she can be. Apparently, you're going to think I'm making this up. I'm so not. Apparently, Jimmy called Matron. Matron didn't realize it was a video call. Matron was very naked. Matron answered the phone. Jimmy saw things that he wasn't expecting to see. But with great presence of mind, he took a screenshot of them. That's all I'm going to say on that. Oh dear. I wish I was 3 weeks ahead, says Mark on motoring. It takes me the best part of a week to do just one video. Yeah, well, I still haven't done my Wales video with Emma. Oh, and I meant to talk to Mustard and I forgot. Now, tomorrow, I was planning to ask Neil very kindly if I could have a go on his welding machine. And I was going to have a go at welding the Janet Jackson, the Diesel 25, so that I could use it for a while as a daily, because using that car would save me about £70 a week. And I could really do with saving £70 a week at the moment. That would make a massive difference. But apparently welders need tits, and the welding tits that Mustard ordered were the wrong ones. So we can't do it. Good evening, caller.
So you've ripped the piss out of me, and now you're asking for favours.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought as much.
Yeah. Happy to help.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no problem. Are you going to be supervised by your on-screen daddy whilst you're doing this?
Well, apparently the tits that he ordered are the wrong ones, so we can't do it.
The second set he ordered.
Oh, I don't know. I just asked him if they I pinged him last night and asked him if they turned up, and he said they did, but they were the wrong ones.
Oh, balls.
Yeah.
Well, I'm up next. I'll have a look see if I can find a sex. I'm up next week, and also I'll see what I can do. But yeah, I should be able to sort some out.
All right, buddy. Bless you.
All right. And I do know where I am, you wanker.
You'll know where the Momo are.
All right, I'll speak to you in a bit.
All right, buddy.
Bye bye.
Take care. So yeah, but I meant to speak to Mustard because if there's nothing happening tomorrow, then I think I might stay here only because I mean you know how much I love going to Mustard and hanging out and spending the day and whatnot, but money is just I mean it's not tight, it's non-existent. I'm not going to bang on about that. You all know the situation I'm in. Bless you all for caring and for helping as and when you can. So if there's nothing actually doing at the yard tomorrow, then I was thinking I can't really justify going. I'd be better off staying put, saving the petrol money. It's not a huge amount of money. You know, it's like 30 quid in fuel, something like that. And a bit of you know, maybe a bit of something for lunch. But when you haven't got it or when you're struggling, that's quite a few bob, isn't it? So, but also, I still haven't done the Welsh video, video number 3 in my revisiting my homeland. I haven't even started on it because I just don't seem to get the time, darlings. Doing the daily diary and trying to keep doing the restaurant stuff and trying to keep up with just housework and eating and going to work and live streaming and all of that sort of thing. I've not had a chance. So if nothing's happening at the yard tomorrow, or there's no prospect of anything happening, then I think and the weather's not going to be particularly great, then I think I should probably be sensible, stay put, save the money, and just spend the day getting the Welsh video done and out. I mean, it's not going to do any good. It's certainly not going to earn me any money for obvious reasons, not being monetized at the moment. It won't even get any views, but I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it for me and as a memory of the day. It was such a fabulous couple of days. Best couple of days I've had for a long, long time. And I'd love to get it done. So that might have to be the plan for tomorrow. If the weather picks up a little bit, I did think that I might, you know, because I need to get some footage for the daily diary. So if I do stay here, then what I thought I might do, I haven't done it for 2 years. I thought I might take Minge Bag out to Winnett's Pass and film that. I did it once before, but it was in the very, very early days of the channel. I had no clue what I was doing, and I made a right hash of it. So I thought I could do that in Minge Bag, and then while I'm there, I'll actually get my fat old ass out of the car and I'll walk up the mountain to the top of Mam Tor and film that. But yeah, it would give me a chance to get all of the Welsh video done. That would be nice. But we'll see what the morning brings. If we can. If there's something to be done in the yard, then I'll absolutely go. It's not that I don't want to go. It's just that money is that ridiculously tight that if it's just going for me to have fun, then, you know, I can't afford to have fun at the moment. But yeah, that had been the plan. For those who have forgotten or didn't realise, then one of the company cars that we've got that's been sitting there for 9 months is a Rover 25 diesel, one of the most economical cars in the world. And it needs a couple of little bits of welding so it can have an MOT. Allegro man was booked to do that little bit of welding, but you know, it's been 9 months now and he hasn't done it. So I think the probability is that he ain't gonna. Mustard was going to do it, but you know, Mustard's a busy guy, and I want the welding to be done for my own benefit, so why should he have to do it? So I thought, well, you know, how difficult can welding be? I'll bloody well have a go at it. But apparently the tits that welders need haven't arrived, or they're the wrong ones or whatever. So that's not an option. But I'd love to get that sorted because, as I say, it would that would help in the struggle over the next couple of months to survive. Obviously, I drive a fair old way to work. A lot of my outgoing is fuel, and if I can get a car that's twice as economical as the one that I'm driving, then I'm only going to be spending half of the amount of money. Anyway, let's get back to you and your comments, because that's what this is really all about. Oh, where did I get to? Ah, yes, here we are. Pacers, bring back Pacers, says Matron. Tracy was naked, assumed it was a voice call, and answered the video call, and Jimmy saw everything, says Yom 11. Yeah. And has the photos to prove it, says Peter P. See, I told you I wasn't joking. Careful, says Ivor Spotty Butty. Boaty's skint, he'll start selling copies of Trace and see flashing boobies for £5 a pop. I'm never answering the phone again, says Matron. £2.46 for a chicken. Was it a disguised pigeon? No, it really was a chicken. It was just a really small one. Yeah, you can see what's left of it. Oh, my thing's pinged off. There you go. Dismembered chicken, darlings. Oh, I might have a bit now. God, I really cannot carve a chicken, can I? Nice. Oh, I didn't like that. Yeah. If you want to see how small this chicken was, look at the size of the drumsticks. Tiny. Well, it's not bad, actually. Delicious. Did you catch the Grand Prix, Boaty? Grand Prix, sorry. That's why I'm so happy. That is why I'm so happy. Now, I've not seen it because, you know, I don't know what you need to see it these days, but you need to pay to see it. And so I haven't seen it, but I listen to it like I listen to all of my sport on the radio. And oh my God, how happy am I? How happy am I? For those who don't know, today was the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, and it was won by Sir Lewis Hamilton. And I just could not be more happy. That is his 9th British Grand Prix, a record that will never be broken. His 104th overall Grand Prix win, a record that will never be broken. He is the greatest driver of all time. And it was his first win for 2.5 years. And it was incredibly emotional. I had to go to work before the race ended. And as I was driving to work, I'm streaming at the radio on my phone. I've got my Bluetooth thing in, so it's coming out of the gramophone. And there's like 4 laps to go, and he's got 3 seconds over Max. Oh God! And I could barely drive. I was so on tenterhooks. I'm thinking, oh, come on. And oh God, he did it. And then if you and people say a lot of things about Lewis Hamilton. I've got no time for them. They're all racists. And then he was so emotional. You know, this guy, Knight of the Realm, rich beyond his wildest dreams. And this is what I love about sport. I was a professional athlete. I get this. Believe me, if you are a true athlete, then all of the money in the world counts for nothing. You're only about winning. Winning means everything. And a couple of things to say about that. Now, I've said this before. To demonstrate just how it is when you're in that situation, the great Reg Harris, he won a silver medal in the Olympics, and he won a silver medal at the World Championships. And he threw them away or gave them away, because to him, a silver medal was only a reminder of his failure, because there's winning and there's nothing else. And so for Lewis, who is a winning machine, to go 2.5 years without a win, it must have been absolutely horrendous. It must have been absolutely horrendous, because, and I've been there. It's not, you might think, oh yeah, you haven't won a race. You've still, you're still a millionaire. You're still this, you're still that. It's not like that. You question everything. And it's not just about your sporting prowess, your sporting career. It affects everything. You question yourself as a human being. It's horrendous, absolutely horrendous. And the emotion in his voice, he couldn't get his words out. As he was going around the warm down lap, heading to Parc Fermé, having won, he couldn't get his words out. And, when you're 39 years old, a Knight of the Realm, rich beyond your wildest dreams, already guaranteed to be the greatest of all time, and then to get so emotional, I found it incredibly moving. And, there's been a few things like that in British sport over the last week. So Lewis Hamilton unexpectedly winning the British Grand Prix. Mark Cavendish, Cav, taking the record for the greatest number of Tour de France stages won, taking that off the great Eddie Merckx. And dear old Andy Murray bowing out of his proud career at Wimbledon. Anyway, there we are. Mrs. Boaty was an Irish woman, says Matron. I've heard you're an alpha male now, Father. She was Irish. Not entirely Irish, from Irish parents, born in Ireland, brought up in England, then moved back to Ireland, and lived in the island of Ireland, did her nurse training in Northern Ireland, and then moved over to moved over to England when she was in her. Oh God, I can't tell you about that. I can't tell you why she moved to England, but it was an. No, I really can't. It was an IRA related matter, and that's about all I can say on that. But yeah, she was a good Irish woman. Driving on a very wet, narrow road yesterday, says Bad Books. The car 100 yards ahead, so pulled over and stopped. He pulled alongside and called me a twat for not pulling over earlier, which was nice. Oh, there we are. The other driver must have confused you with Boaty. So you were a controlling husband then, says Jimmy F500. Oh, God, yeah. Of course, totally. I was actually exactly the opposite of a controlling husband. That was the only thing that I ever put my foot down about the dinner party thing. Everything else, Mrs. Boaty ran everything. She was the boss. She was the boss. Oh, Simone is here and in pain again. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. The driving videos are not silent, asserts Matron, because you can hear the engine. When I cook a chicken, says Jimmy Quinn, me and the wife have half each. I can't read that out. Oh dear. You did one of those live streams that when there was nobody there, Boaty. I did, Jimmy. I did. I remember it. Boaty's live last night was rather good, says Peter P. Yeah, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Oh, Ross is here, Dino Dad. Good evening, Boat Meister, and all good evening to you. Oh dear. Tickles and cake are always good member perks, says Peter P. I have an announcement, says Simone. I now have red t-shirts available for a limited time over on my channel. And that channel is, of course, Hooked on Classics. Get your bums over there if you fancy a red t-shirt. Have you got 6XL? Simone asked Jimmy. Need a special t-shirt for Boaty, says Ivor. Oh, I'd love a TC shirt. Just to clarify, channel oh, this is from Mark I'm motoring. Just to clarify, channel memberships will happen, hopefully within the week, once I've edited the next video. If there's more money than sense, that's welcome to join. No promises of being naked. I've been cheating on your Boaty, says Steve Hulk. I've been watching Tasty Classics and have seen Barry Scrotter leaving comments on the channel. I've got no idea what that channel is, to be fair. Up and down YouTube, I bought a Saxo with MOT and then discovered the rear end was detached from the body. Is there a place called Crewe, says Neil? Yes, there is. Oh dear. It had 2 L's in it. I know when I'm in Llangollen, I can get there with no sat nav, but autocorrect did me dirty and changed it from Llangollen. Trump does wear the nappy, says DM. Google it, lol. Stormy Daniels also said he has a dodger like a button mushroom. Oh, God, that's harsh, isn't it? That's harsh. But then, you know, you sleep with a porn star, you're going to be putting yourself up against, oh, you'll like this one. You'll like this one. If you're a chap and you sleep with a porn star, you're going to be putting yourself up against stiff opposition. I'll just leave you to enjoy that one. You're welcome. God, it's gone midnight, darlings. It's gone midnight. I need to whisper these comments and let you all get to your bed. Everybody will be video calling Matron now, says Emma. But Matron says, I'm never answering the phone again, at least not with the wrong glasses on. No welding, says Jimmy F500. You need to be trained. Boaty's a big tit, so he'll make a great welder, says Bad Books. Boaty's welds will look like pretzels, says Peter P. I don't even know what welding is. I just really need the car, so I'm willing to have a go at it. Tracy, says Ivor Spotty Butty, I think you've got a ready-made side hustle. Start charging people when they're video calling you. Hello, everyone, says Sophie, and how's your week been? And hope you've had a lovely weekend. Oh, God, I wish I knew what was wrong with my microphones. Like I was saying earlier, they were like a tenner. I've had them a year. I'm probably going to need to look at getting something a bit better now. But, yeah, I'll have to sell something. I cannot wait to see Boaty weld, says Neil. I fear he thinks it's an easy thing to do. I don't think it's easy. I just think that if other people can do it, then maybe I could learn how to do it too. It can't be impossible because other people do it. And I could really do it. It's 70 quid a week that I'd save. And 70 quid a week would make a massive difference at the moment. Actually, it'd be more than that because the tax is cheaper too. Jimmy F500 says, is there anything planned for the two dented Doris sisters? Are they still there at the yard? Well, no, one of them sold, but the other one is still there. But yeah, there are issues with that. Not mechanical issues, logistical and issues. I can't remember what happened when we bought that one, but apparently there's no V5 and we need to apply for a V5 for it. Geez, imagine the welds from a bloke with the DT's, delirious tremens, darlings, which I don't suffer from, or at least not yet, or at least not since I gave up the vodka. Will there be moaning? Oh dear. Hello again, says Mustard. Land Rover lunch idea from Bad Books. Roadkill, barbecue badger. I'm not doing that. Oh dear. I'm not doing that either. No. Lewis Hamilton, says John, well-deserved win, and he will win more this season, I'm sure. Shame about George Russell, had to retire with problems with the car. Have a look at my welding Boaty, says Simone. I'm sure it's absolutely fabulous. This has been a great live, says Matron. Proper old school Boaty content. We like a happy Boaty, says the M11. 70 quid a week on what, says Mustard? Fuel. The diesel would save 70 quid a week on fuel. When I had the NEL series diesel, will cope with 10 quid a day, and I'm putting 20 quid a day in Christine, so that would be a £70 a week saving. And over the next 2 months, well, per month, assuming that it's a 4-week month, that would be £280 per month, and that would pay my electricity, my gas, my council tax, my water rates. Basically, it would be the difference between 5 bills getting paid and not getting paid. So when you put it like that, no, I don't think welding is easy. No, I've got no idea if I could do it or not. But if I could try to do it, then, and if I were to be able to succeed, I could pay 5 bills that I wouldn't otherwise be able to pay. I'm going to have a go at trying to do it, aren't I? All he needs to do to cap off tonight is a bit of happy clapping. Boaty, if you get welding wrong, you'll get 240 volts up your jacksie, says Bad Books. Will I? I don't know anything about welding. I don't know what it is. I genuinely know nothing. I think it's just, isn't it sticking bits of metal together? Like, I don't know what the welding is, but isn't it like you get a bit of metal and you like weld whatever the welding is? It's like, I don't know, what's it like? High heat gluing or something like that. All right, I don't know, but I think it's like you get a bit of metal and you put it on somewhere where metal should be, and then you kind of melt it all together so that you've got new metal where there wasn't any metal, and it's like properly melted into I've got no idea. I've got no idea. Good night all. Let's hope me and Neil get some sleep tonight after last night bloody neighbours pressing the buzzer at 1 o'clock this morning. It can't cost you that much going to work and back. Bloody does. And no, I don't have a heavy right foot. Topless pictures on WhatsApp soon. Deliveries? Are you really saying that you deliver food at your own cost? Well, no, not necessarily at my own cost, but if you're a taxi driver and you charge a customer £10 for a journey and you pay £5 in fuel, you make £5. If you only pay £2.50 in fuel, you make £7.50. So you're still being paid for doing it, but you earn more and therefore you save money. So, okay, if you want to be technical about it, you can say that you increase, rather than saving money, you increase your earnings. But the bottom line is that driving a car like that, I'd have £70 a week more in my pocket and I would be able to pay 280 quid a month worth of bills that I'm not able to pay otherwise. So whatever the technicalities of it, it would be a jolly good thing. That was why, for anybody who's wondering, that was why I swapped Mingebag, who I loved and adored. That's why I swapped Mingebag for Andy Pandy, the Rover 45, because I needed to I needed to save that money. I needed that more economical car, and I needed the diesel. And Andy Pandy was great on fuel, but that kind of backfired a little bit. So I thought, right. So I had Andy Pandy. What's that now? Oh, okay. But unfortunately, Andy Pandy didn't work out too brilliantly because, yeah, I swapped Minge Bag, and then I insured Andy Pandy properly. I insured it for business use and all of that. And of course, when you insure a car, then even if you're paying in installments, you have to pay for the entire year. And I only had Andy Pandy for, what was it, 6 weeks, something like that, before the clutch went. So that means that I'm stuck with paying, oh God, however much it is. I've got, well, I'm going to be paying for Andy Pandy for the next 10 months, insurance wise. 400 and God. Live streaming is really difficult when you're getting pings and texts. You'd think that the idea of live streaming was that people would comment in the live stream, but you get pings, texts, telephone calls, and you're trying to let you all go to bed, and it gets really difficult. Yeah, so that brief amount of time with Andy Pandy cost me about, well, bloody hell, if you consider that I swapped Minge Bag for it and what I paid for Minge Bag and then the insurance and everything, it cost me about £1,000. Oh, well. Boaty, what's a Liverpool lady, you podget, called Nadine Dorris? Don't know what her name was. If I did know, I've forgotten. It's using molten metal to stick 2 bits of metal together, says Neil. Put it this way, if you don't get good welding, roots right, it will come away in your hands. Basically correct, Boaty, says Andrew. Ah, see? See? The restaurant needs to up your wages, says Ross. Right. Restaurant. Long pockets, short arms. What can you do? It is what it is. If I could do something else and earn more money, I would. But try being a man of my age and getting a decent paid job. I'm just doing anything I can to try and keep my head above water, keep the bills paid, which has kind of spectacularly failed. Yeah, I had 3 people pinging me last night while I was live streaming, says Matron. Minimum wage, says Ross. You're kidding. You're kidding. Not even close. I can't say too much about that sort of thing. The clutch is fine, and Andy Pandy says now. It's the slave cylinder and master cylinder has gone weak. I'm upgrading the clutch due to pushing the limits of a stock clutch, and the hydraulics are getting done too. Right. Well, all I knew, Neil, was that, I couldn't really drive it properly anymore. So, and yeah, that was the thing with that. I can't remember if I told you at the time, but yeah, I was using Andy Pandy as a daily. It had problems, but you know, it was incredibly economical. It was saving me a fortune. The clutch went, or Neil now says it's the slave cylinder and master cylinder, whatever it was. You know, the car obviously couldn't be driven. I was in absolute financial arse, so I had to. Well, I sold it for 250. I think it was 250 quid. Um, so obviously they owed me a hell of a lot more than that. But what can you do? That 250 quid got me out of the ship for that week, but it did leave me without a decent daily. And yeah, well, there we are. There we are. Anyway, again, for those who don't know, Neil has now bought Andy Pandy. Not from me, not from me. I didn't sell it direct to Neil. And Neil is going to be doing amazing things with it. So that's all good news. That car has got a great future. And everybody's saying good night. With welding, you must get good penetration. Giggle, says Simone. Neil's banging on about a stage 2 heavy Kevlar clutch and Sheddish hydraulics, which will handle 300 brake horse. Oh, God almighty. More good nights. And that's about it. Everybody's saying good night. It is time to go. It's well gone midnight. Thank you all for your company tonight. I'm very grateful. I apologize for any sound issues that you might have experienced. I am planning to sell an internal organ sometime soon and buy a decent microphone. Watch this space. Don't forget to like, says Matron. And yeah, 25 of you have liked, which is jolly nice. Oh, and thank you for the live stream. Seem to have been going rather well lately. Friday night figures are brilliant, and Thursday night figures are even better. Absolutely amazing. I will buy you a kidney, says Mustard. Yeah. Right, where are we? What day is it? Sunday. Right, do tune in tomorrow night, darlings. 10 o'clock, earlier time. And it will be me and the M11 tomorrow. We've got loads of things to talk about, both with each other and with you. We've got plans to make. There's loads of exciting things going on, which we can't wait to share with you. And tomorrow night is going to be like last Monday. And that's the way it's going to be going forward. Tomorrow night is just going to be 2 or more hours of relaxed community fun. We're going to be here. We're going to be chatting. We're going to be taking phone calls. None of the features or all of that thing. That's going to be on a Thursday now, on the Mad Thursdays. It's just going to be a community time. So it's going to be about all of this. Starting a bit earlier so more of you can hopefully get involved. And yeah, it's just going to be no plans. It's just going to be relaxed, open community time, and what will be, will be. Last Monday was amazing, and we're both really looking forward to it tomorrow. Don't forget, earlier start, 10 o'clock. And on that note, I'm going to say thank you so very much for sharing your time with me. Thank you for all of this week, and have a safe and peaceful night ahead, and an amazing day. Have the best day that you possibly can. And above all, take really, really good care of yourselves. Thank you so much for your company. It means the world. I've loved tonight. I missed last night very much. And there we are. That's about it. Can't wait to see you tomorrow with Emma, the M11. Matron's going to be there overseeing everything. Mustard will probably call in. Mr. Stephen Paddy will undoubtedly call in. Neil probably will as well. Maybe Dave will. Oh, it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to it. Now, I'm going to get some supper and I'm going to get to bed. And there we are. Thank you so much. Much love to you all. Can't wait to see you next time. But you and indeed, oh yeah,